Will you still put your hands? I'm under arrest right now? What am I under arrest for? Christian, are you serious right now? Okay. Under arrest for I did not him though. We have video camera.
Really?
Basically, she was saying that people need to leave you alone. And that, you guys were both toxic together and take things off of the media and let's not bring it on social media. That's what I got from the conversation, allegedly.
It looks like Nike can't keep shielding Sha'Carri Richardson forever. Sure, she's walked away from drama before, brushing off scandals like they were nothing. But this one feels different. We're not just talking about messy rumors floating around the internet or her being spotted lighting up. This time, there's actual 4K footage of her acting out in public, paired with official reports that don't make her look good at all. And now fans are asking the million-dollar question: if Nike has dropped male athletes for smaller scandals, why is Sha'Carri still their golden face? The whole mess started at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport when cameras caught Sha'Carri in the middle of a heated moment with her boyfriend, Christian Coleman, right before boarding a flight. At first glance, people thought it was just a couple's argument that spiraled out of control, the kind of thing anyone could go through. But when the police got involved and body cam footage leaked, the story hit a whole new level. In the clip, Sha'Carri didn't look calm at all. Instead, she came off fiery, frustrated, and unwilling to back down. Meanwhile, Christian barely reacted, almost like he was trying to avoid making things worse. And when officers stepped in to arrest her, Sha'Carri instantly flipped the script. She shouted, "You under arrest? Please put your, I'm under arrest right now. What am I under arrest for? Christian, are you serious right now?" The cops told her the reason, but she wasn't having it, cutting them off and insisting, "I didn't even touch him though." Onlookers could see she was panicked. She started calling Christian names, saying he should have defended her. And when that didn't work, she flat out denied putting her hands on him at all, even though the footage suggested otherwise. Then, in one last effort to push back, she went off on the police, asking why she was the one being taken away while demanding someone explain the real reason behind it all. But here's the twist. This whole thing wasn't just about one airport blow-up. People are saying Sha'Carri might have set herself up for her own downfall, piece by piece. And this latest scandal was just the breaking point.
It's just a sucky situation all around. Like, I don't feel as if like she should have been arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, people have discussions and emotions and stuff like that. And she have like things that she needs to work on for herself, of course. And so do I, so do you, like everybody. And I'm the type of guy, like, I'm in the business of just like extending grace and mercy and love. And I feel as if like I don't try to look at obstacles either. Like, I just look at like situations like this to just like, take a step back, analyze yourself mentally, and then just try to see what you can do to be your best self so that you can move forward, so you can just be the type of person and a human that God needs you to be for his kingdom and for his glory. And so that's kind of how I look at the situation. And like,
her teammates and coaches have whispered about her temper before, and now fans are starting to connect the dots like the story's been playing out in plain sight the whole time. But what really shook people was Christian's response afterward. Instead of pressing charges or even creating distance, he stood by her side. In fact, just days later, he gave an interview where he said she didn't deserve punishment and that she only needed grace and understanding. That shocked everyone. Now, maybe in his mind, he thought he was being the loyal boyfriend, the type who sticks by his girl no matter what. But fans weren't convinced. They replayed that interview over and over, and the body language told another story. Christian looked restless, shifting in his chair, his eyes darting around like he couldn't get comfortable. He hardly ever looked straight at the camera, and when he did, it felt like he was forcing himself to hold it together. To a lot of viewers, it didn't look like love at all. It looked like pressure, almost as if Sha'Carri had some kind of hold over him, leaving him no choice but to back her up, even if it cost him his own peace of mind. Fans had an absolute field day with this situation. And then controversial comedian Corey Holcomb jumped in and made it even hotter. On his podcast, Corey didn't sugarcoat a thing. He straight up accused Sha'Carri of weaponizing the victim role, saying she knew exactly how to flip the script on Christian. He pointed out that she was the one putting hands on him, then tried to act like she was the one being wronged. Corey said the body cam footage spoke for itself. From the camera footage, there ain't no lies told.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is the position that Christian Coleman put me into, okay? Because he's a coward, and I don't want anything to do with him at this point going forward.
That cut deep, because it wasn't just Corey's wild opinion. It matched exactly what fans online had already been whispering. To them, Christian's strange defense of her didn't look like a man proudly standing by his girlfriend. Nah, it looked more like someone who had been in that position before. Worn down, cautious, maybe even scared of what would happen if he didn't publicly defend her. That's when the whole conversation shifted. People stopped looking at the airport incident like it was just one random blowup. Instead, it started being seen as part of a bigger pattern, something Christian might have been quietly dealing with for a long time behind the scenes. Fans chimed in heavy in the comments. One wrote, "Not only that, but he defended her and declined to press charges. There's no way in hell I would continue being with a woman that put hands on me in public like that. She'd be dead to me. That relationship would be over, cause I'd be danged if I stay and we end up fighting again, and I get accused of DV and lose everything I own, maybe even face jail time. It's not worth it." Sha'Carri's ex, Jamaican hurdler Janique Brown, once told a story in an emotional interview, and now fans are digging it back up. Janique described their relationship as full of ups and downs, with arguments that sometimes got heated both ways. But she admitted the weight of what she carried afterward was heavy. She said she felt threatened, silenced, and even blamed when Sha'Carri allegedly turned the internet against her. And here's the kicker. That wasn't random at all.
So you don't have to do it harder. Christian, are you serious right now?
So maybe Washington State, he doesn't get a say.
Years ago, Sha'Carri posted a long Instagram story painting Janique as the villain, while she positioned herself as the one who needed sympathy. The internet ran with it, and Janique ended up dragged online, even canceled in some circles, while Sha'Carri came out looking like the one who was wronged. Only later did Janique clap back, saying Sha'Carri's version of events was carefully crafted to protect her image while tearing someone else down. Fans are now putting two and two together, saying the same script seems to be playing out with Christian, just on a bigger stage. People can't ignore the parallel. In the airport footage, Sha'Carri is clearly asking the officers why she was the one being arrested, even though Christian wasn't doing anything back to her. To viewers, it felt like deja vu, the same playbook Janique accused her of using years earlier. And just when people thought the story couldn't get any worse, Sha'Carri dropped an apology video. But instead of cooling things down, it only made the fire burn hotter. The problem wasn't only what she said, which came off like empty words clearly drafted by her PR team. The real issue was the way she delivered it. She sat there smiling through the whole video, twisting her words to say people had misunderstood her instead of actually owning up to anything. And then came the kicker. In what fans called a classic deflection move, she ended the apology by saying, "I love him, and to him, I can't apologize enough." But even that didn't land right. The reigning 100-meter world champion Christian Coleman wasn't impressed either, as he wrote on Instagram in all caps that her apology should be just as loud as her actions. That comment alone sent shockwaves across track and field fans. The internet wasn't forgiving either. Once the clips hit Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit, the reactions were brutal. One viral tweet read, "Dang, imagine what she does in private." Another fan called her apology fake, pointing out how she laughed and grinned through the whole thing as if she was telling a funny story instead of taking responsibility. Someone else wrote, "That apology was just saving face. No regret at all. If the roles were reversed, his career would have been buried." And the phrase that kept popping up across all platforms, pattern. Fans said this wasn't the first time she's pulled moves like this. Deny, spin, smile, and then shift the blame.
Scary. And more than anything, definitely a lot of self-reflection, a lot of understanding of not only putting myself in a compromised situation with somebody that I have a deep care and appreciation for as well as something that holding myself accountable. I see myself, I'm taking this time to not only see myself, but give myself a certain level of health that overall is going to reflect who I truly am in my heart and my spirit.
So instead of repairing her image, the apology turned into more evidence for the people who already believed she was repeating old habits. But the chaos didn't stop there. If the apology video wasn't bad enough, Nike poured gasoline on the fire. Instead of pausing their campaigns or stepping back quietly, they doubled down on her just days after the arrest, standing firm behind her as their poster star. Sha'Carri was still plastered across Nike's homepage, front and center, smiling big while promoting her latest shoe, like nothing had happened at all. No statement from Nike, no acknowledgement of the scandal, just a silent but very loud show of support. And that silence drove fans wild with anger. They started pointing out the double standards. Caitlin Clark, one of the biggest names in women's sports right now, has barely gotten any real shine from Nike since signing with them. No signature shoe, no major campaign, nothing close to the push Sha'Carri has gotten. Meanwhile, Sha'Carri, caught on video in that airport drama, is still being pushed as a superstar. One viral post called Nike out directly. Corporate sponsors like Nike claim zero tolerance on domestic incidents, yet they're silent on the Sha'Carri Richardson situation. If all of this ain't wrong, then what is? That post opened the floodgates. Some fans said it straight up looked hypocritical. How far does someone have to go before Nike pulls the plug? Others were more cynical, saying Nike knew exactly what they were doing. Sha'Carri's whole brand has been tied to controversy from the jump, from her weed suspension to her fiery clapbacks. And Nike has cashed in on every single headline. They stood by her during the weed ban and even flipped it into a big comeback campaign. They've kept her front and center in commercials, making sure her face stays tied to the rebel spirit of the brand. As one critic said, Nike ain't blind. They know what's happening. They're keeping her because it sells. But instead of calming the storm, those explanations only poured more fuel on it. Fans weren't buying the controversy sells angle anymore. To them, Nike's support wasn't bold. It was cold, calculated business. And this is what sparked the loudest debate of them all: the double standard. Corey Holcomb spelled it out on his podcast without hesitation. If Sha'Carri were a man caught on camera shoving his girlfriend, the sponsorships would vanish instantly. No debate. That line hit the internet like a thunderbolt. Fans immediately agreed. They started listing off athletes who lost everything over just one allegation. Yet Sha'Carri, with actual footage of her wild airport moment, was still being promoted, praised, and plastered on Nike's homepage. People began dragging Nike's past history into the conversation too, pointing out how the company has shown selective outrage for decades. To many, this wasn't shocking at all. It was just another reminder that, at the end of the day, money always outweighs morals. And that's why the pressure on Nike hasn't let up. Fans aren't just angry at Sha'Carri anymore. They're furious at the system that keeps protecting her. The conversation has zoomed out far beyond one fight at an airport. Now, people are looking at her whole track record. The scandals, the suspensions, the feuds with teammates, the stories of disrespect that coaches and fellow athletes whispered about, but never stuck. Time and time again, she's managed to outrun the consequences because her speed and star power made her too valuable to bench. But what fans can't wrap their heads around is the hold she seems to have over Christian. His shaky interviews, his long silences, the way he avoids eye contact. People are taking that as confirmation that this wasn't just one bad night. At this point, it feels like Christian has been enduring something way bigger and way longer than anybody ever realized. But more than that, this whole situation is shining a light on Nike, a company that talks about values, empowerment, and accountability, yet is being accused of standing for one thing only: profit. By keeping Sha'Carri as the face of their brand, Nike has basically told the world where their loyalty really lies, and fans aren't letting that slide. Right now, the silence is deafening. Sha'Carri hasn't said a word since that shaky apology. Nike hasn't released a single statement. And Christian? He's gone quiet too. The only voices left are the fans, and they're louder than ever, blasting their frustrations across TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, and beyond. The common theme in every conversation is clear. Nike has once again proven that scandal doesn't scare them, because scandal sells. So, what do you think? Is Nike protecting a star athlete, or are they just cashing in while the drama goes global? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's on our radar next, because this story is far from finished.